All right, it's Monday morning. Let's do this. Good morning, good morning. All right, all right. Stryker, good morning. Stryker with First Blood. Let's go ahead and run this. And Steve, you're right. I need to go back and redo that thumbnail, make a new UFO thumbnail. But I slapped this one together kind of quick before my morning nap, and I wasn't even thinking about the old thumbnail. That it's a recycled thumbnail. I usually don't use them, but anywho, it's Monday morning, and that title, Pentagon won't rule out aliens, is not pure clickbait. Not pure clickbait. So when I saw this headline, I was a little confused, and I suspect that many of you have seen similar headlines, and I want to allay some confusion. There is talk right now that here, I'll show you the headline. The third UFO is shot down over North America in 3 days after threats over Lake Huron, Canada, and Chinese spy balloons. But here's the thing, guys. The 3 UFOs do not include the Chinese spy balloon, right? It just happens that the 3 UFOs over the last 72 hours are in chronologic proximity to the spy balloon saga, which is quite distinctly separate and, as far as we can tell, over. Like that, I fully expect there will be some more news related to the Chinese spy balloons, and we're going to touch on that just a little bit in this morning. But like, I fully expect there will be some more news related to the Chinese spy balloons, but that the actual activity is over for the moment. There's no indication that additional Chinese spy balloons are inbound or even planned. But over the last 72 hours, they've shot down, the U.S. has shot down 3 separate UFOs. And they are, by definition, UFOs. I'm not actively saying that they definitely shot down little green men. They're UFOs in the most explicit sense of the term. They are unidentified flying objects. Now, that said, let's take a look at this article. The third UFO is shot down over North America in 3 days after threats over Lake Huron, Canada, and Chinese spy balloons. UFO panic is sweeping the U.S. after 3 unknown objects were blasted out of the sky in 72 hours. Pentagon officials have swung into action over the last week after the flight of a gigantic spy balloon over the U.S. And we've got these images. This is an image of the spy balloon being shot down. Here we see the spy balloon being recovered, apparently. I'm not sure how much of the technology they actually recovered, but one of the things that we were concerned about with the obviously inept Biden administration waiting so long that the spy balloon actually splashed down was that it would be unrecoverable and we wouldn't be able to examine do an autopsy on the technology, as it were. Now, that said, even with them recovering the Chinese spy balloon and being able to take a look at what the technology was, that in no way allays any chagrin that the administration should be suffering, because they allowed this object to cross over the entirety of the United States and conduct unlimited surveillance to its little heart's content. Right? But again, quite separately from the spy balloons, okay, since the enormous blimp was blasted out of the sky on February 4th, 3 more objects have been seen, have since been downed by fighter planes. Strange accounts have been given by the fighter pilots, including reports the objects interfered with their sensors and had no recognizable propulsion. The mystery is deepening as limited information has been released on the shootdowns, with China also playing dumb and denying any knowledge. So, the things that raise suspicion with flying objects are things like instantaneous acceleration, an unidentified flying object that appears to suddenly achieve extraordinary speed without crossing through the distinct differential acceleration from zero. It doesn't go from 0 through all the other numbers to 60. It goes from 0 to 60. It just begins at whatever the target speed is. The other big one is transmaterial maneuvering, as in being able to go from air, underwater, and back without appearing to have suffered any resistance doing so. So the Pentagon is giving us this. The mystery is deepening as limited information has been released on the shootdowns, with China also playing dumb and denying any knowledge. But this is what really takes it to an interesting place. And to muddy the waters further, Beijing claimed it had detected and was preparing to shoot down its own mystery object on yesterday. China said the object had been flying close to a base for their nuke submarines. The objects right now can be considered UFOs, as they remain in all sense of the term unidentified. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and pop over to this other article, also from The Sun, and this headline, I just love it. We don't rule out aliens, and we don't know what the octagonal UFO we shot down is, Pentagon chief said of Okay, it stopped there. Pentagon chiefs have admitted they do not know the origins of the mysterious objects that have been brought down. Fighter jets have been scrambled to bring down several unidentified orbs flying in American airspace over the last week. And we've got some more pictures. Again, it mentions the Chinese spy balloon, but it comes just a week after Chinese spy balloon was shot down off the coast of South Carolina. On Sunday, pilots downed a high-altitude octagonal orb after it was spotted flying at 20,000 feet over Lake Huron near Michigan. Defense officials brought down the object after it was deemed a risk to commercial aircraft. General Glenn Van Herk, the head of the U.S. North American Aerospace Defense Command, has not ruled out any theory when it comes to the object's potential origins. He said, "I'll let the intel community and counterintelligence community figure that out. I haven't ruled out anything. At this point, we continue to assess every threat or potential threat unknown that approaches North America with an attempt to identify it." Okay. Little advice, General. Because you work for Biden and clearly are taking your marching orders from our current administration, which is deeply, deeply friendly to the enemies of the United States of America. An unidentified object should be identified before it breaches U.S. airspace. That is the lesson that we've learned at the beginning of this month. It should be identified to the greatest of your capability immediately and definitely prior to its entering U.S. airspace. At that last moment, if you have not determined what the object is, it hasn't responded to attempts at communication, and it's about to enter U.S. airspace, it is not my opinion, it is the law. It should be destroyed. Right? I want you guys to remember this. When I make claims of this sort, right? When I say things like we should abolish the ATF, I say these things advisedly. It's not my opinion that this is what a person should do in your position, General. It is the law. It is literally your job. And you haven't done it well. So, and that's how we got a Chinese spy balloon creeping across the entire country and collecting whatever data it may have wanted. Because let's be clear, a signals intelligence, a balloon carrying signals intelligence equipment like the one that flew over from China, if it's over Montana, the scope of its observable intelligence collection capability is Montana. It's not just whatever's directly below it. It's the higher that antenna, the bigger its base. Not complex. Obviously, I'm not sitting here throwing on the tinfoil hat and saying that the aliens are coming. Of course, all things considered, I wouldn't suddenly be surprised if. Well, no, I might at this point be surprised if little green men landed and came out to say, "Take me to your leader," because I just assume that if they have the technology to achieve that they've been monitoring the airwaves and are definitely saying to each other, nah, not this one. Not this one. I don't think we're ever going to have alien contact because, quite frankly, they'll just come and look at us and say, "Oh wow. There's not enough of them worth saving." They'll burn the ships because where they're going, they've got roads to pave. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the call-in number this morning and give you guys a chance to call in and make comment on this. But I want to talk a little bit about the Chinese spy balloon as well. SB says, "Are they coming, love? They are standing right beside now, love." I don't understand your comment there, SB, but thanks for watching this morning. I want to go back to the spy balloons for just a minute. China accused the U.S. of sending spy balloons over the country at least 10 times since January 2022. This comes after the U.S. shot down an apparent Chinese spy balloon over the U.S. earlier this month. Other countries have also accused China of sending spy balloons over their territory. Okay. The reason I want to talk about this, with respect to the Chinese spy balloon thing, China, if you see us flying spy balloons over China, you should shoot them down. Now, understand, I want our intelligence gathering missions conducted against hostile foreign enemies to be successful. I don't want China to succeed at shooting down the spy balloons that we may or may not send over there. Good morning, dear. She brought me coffee. Yes.
China, spy balloons, continue.
China, spy balloons. But as a matter of foreign policy, if I were China, it would absolutely be my position to destroy any discovered U.S. balloons. Just like it should be the policy of the U.S. government when faced with a foreign intelligence gathering platform located within our sovereign territory. The only correct answer is to destroy it immediately upon noticing it. and hopefully to destroy it sufficiently to stop its activities while still retaining enough of its structural integrity and technological integrity to perform a technology autopsy and discover what, if anything, it was actually able to ascertain. As hell, believe it or not, a device like that, an unmanned aerial device, it has a GPS system on it. A GPS system which records logs, because that's part of the data that it needs in order for a remote pilot to operate it, especially over great distance. Guess what that log includes? A point of origin. It would tell us either conclusively this is a Chinese balloon, or potentially that it was launched from somewhere like a remote post in Alaska, at which point it's time for the U.S. to say, wait a minute, there's a what now? There's a point of origin for this hostile foreign intelligence system that's within our borders? What now? And then we do something about that as well. To be clear, I'm not saying that I suspect that's the case. I'm saying that that is the sort of information that can be achieved, that can be attained by doing the autopsy on the equipment after the fact, studying the gear, looking through the logs and finding things like its point of origin, its functional capabilities, its range, its travel range, its collection radius. There's any number of useful telemetry and data that can be achieved by examining a piece of equipment of that nature. And as far as I can tell, very little of that has been done. Now, like I said earlier, as much as I think that we're past the activity itself, I think it's absolutely possible that that there will be more news reporting coming out of that particular situation. So give me just a second. I'm just checking the phone here to see if anybody's trying to call in, because I did not hear it ringing. And okay, I'm going to reboot the call-in line, because it looks like somebody did try to call in, and I believe that's my mother. So it should have rang. So I see two missed calls. Y'all try again real quick, and let's see if it'll ring through. I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, live is hard mode. Here, I'm just going to call back the last number that called me. It says Google line unavailable, apparently, so...
Hey.
Good morning, Ma. How are you? Hold on just a second, Mom. Stryker, I believe you just tried to call in while I was already talking to Ma, and Rod's trying to call in. I'll get call back as soon as Ma gets off the phone. How are you this morning, Mom?
I am wonderful. I am at the farm. How are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. I'm in the studio.
Well, I'll let you go. I was trying to beat Sean to you.
Oh, well, you were successful, and I love you, and I'm gonna let you go.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Looks like Rod tried to call in.
So, please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
Rod, it's Lowry. I'm calling you back. Answer the phone. Well, I guess the line's going to be tied up now, so I'll go ahead and turn the number back off. Come on, Rod.
Man, I'm over here, over here.
How you doing, sugar?
I just want to know where all the white women at.
Well, I can tell you, they're not in Decatur. What you been up to this?
Well, I've been trying to stay away from the UFOs.
It's hard to
I
do,
figured what's going
especially
on.
in your profession. I imagine they watch you pretty careful.
Well, you know. I heard there was Biden blew up a pipeline over there, the Nord Stream, and then a few days ago we had one go bad in California, right?
Yep.
That's the fuel supply. We got to have that.
Yeah, how them diesel prices treating you?
I carry it around. I don't worry about gas.
That's not like dipping in your old supply when you're chopping product on the mirror, is it?
Well, I ran low one time, and I decided, well, I've got some diesel on the tank. I think I'll just get my bucket and fill it up. And I took my cone and flipped it upside down and put it in the tank and poured the gas in there. About 2-3 of those 5-gallon buckets. And I said, all right.
Rhodey says, word is SEALs blew 3 of 4 Nord Stream lines, 3-month delayed munition.
Yep.
Damn. I had not gotten that particular update just yet. But
There's a guy named Hershey that wrote an article.
I'll take a look at that. Or if you see the article, send it along to me. You can send it in Messenger or hell, we're all over the place. You can send it in Messenger. You can send it as a DM on Twitter. Any of that'll work. Or the show at Brushfire Mind.
Well, if you don't mind, I'm gonna use my little mail pigeon.
That'll work.
All right.
I'll catch him. All right, brother. I'm gonna kick you off and let Stryker call in because he's been ringing me nonstop since the beginning.
Thank you so much. You be good. Thank you.
Later, brother. Thanks for calling. All right, Stryker, coming at you, brother. I think this is you. Steve says also looking at East Palestine. Palestine, Ohio. Oh dear. So let's make a note of that.
Oh, wow, I get getting callback service here with a smile.
Good morning, sunshine. How you doing?
Good morning, doing well, doing well.
So what'd you have for us?
Well, it seems our little UFO story just might be covering up all the Twitter executives getting grilled by Congress, or that Hunter Biden wants his laptop back. So AOC may say it's half baked. Does that mean Hunter only gets half his laptop back?
Okay, so check it out. I'm glad you brought all that up. This is probably, unless there's something more interesting that happens between now and then, this is probably what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. It will be something we cover this week, but there's a couple of things here. For one, you mentioned AOC, and I don't know how many of you have actually seen any of AOC's performance in this whole grilling of the Twitter executives, but they had her up there for a moment, and she started asking them about Libs of TikTok videos, where she alleged that Libs of TikTok, this horrible Twitter channel, has been spreading mis or disinformation, for example, suggesting that a particular children's hospital, I don't remember what the name of the hospital is off the top of my head, and I don't want to pick the wrong one, but that a particular children's hospital was providing hysterectomies to children, right? And, AOC got up there in front of the Congress and everybody and said, this person is spreading these falsehoods, spreading this misinformation, and gaslighting people into believing that a children's hospital is providing hysterectomies to children. But there's just one problem with what AOC is saying. It is not untrue that Libs of TikTok shared a video suggesting that is the case. The untrue claim, the false claim, is the claim that the original claim is untrue. In fact, the claim itself comes from a video that was shared by libs of TikTok on Twitter, wherein doctors from that particular children's hospital are describing the hysterectomies explicitly that they offer to children. Now, they use the word adolescent in order to kind of CYOA, but they explicitly mention providing these services to 11, 12, 13-year-old girls. And I'm sorry, that is a distinction without a difference. My 12-year-old daughter is a child. Period, the end. Right? Whatever stage of maturation that a human being is below 15 years of age, and that's being generous, they are still children. So that's the one thing about AOC. Now, the other one I saw trending on Twitter yesterday, you mentioned laptop stuff, and I want to touch on this, but I want more information before I go into it in great detail. Apparently there has been a laptop recovered now that's being called the Trump laptop from hell, where they found a laptop held by some previous Trump staffer that had some classified information on it. And the libs are just losing their ever-loving minds on Twitter, saying, "Oh, you're just a bunch of hypocrites. You're not going to care because the laptop's." Well, here's what I know. Here's what I actually know. The current claim is that the laptop was recently discovered and immediately made available. Well, not made available, but immediately the discovery of that laptop is public knowledge. I want to rewind you back to the Hunter Biden laptop, and let's be very clear about what happened there. We became aware as the public of the Hunter Biden laptop just a month or so before the 2020 election. But the Hunter Biden laptop had been in custody of the FBI for a year prior to that. So for over a year, the FBI, while Donald Trump was president, but during which period we absolutely know the FBI to have been running essentially espionage campaigns against the sitting president during his term on behalf of the Democrat National Committee and on behalf of the Clinton crime family and probably also the Biden crime family. We know that they withheld that information. They just sat on it. Now, whatever there may be on the Trump laptop, if it's even a thing, because again, like I said, it's just over the weekend, a bunch of liberals on Twitter have been screaming about it. You heard about the Trump laptop, liberals, as soon as it was discovered. It wasn't sat on by a clearly weaponized Department of Justice in an openly transparent maneuver to conduct a campaign of election interference.
Keep this in mind. It might just be a low-hanging fruit. Maybe it'll come out with documents on it where Trump has the dirt on the lid.
Well, and here's the other important piece of it, brother, is that so they keep saying, well, the Trump laptop has a bunch of classified information on it. The Biden laptop was just Hunter's dick pics, except that's not true. The Biden laptop was not just Hunter's dick pics. The Biden laptop was explicit, concrete evidence through personal communications between Hunter and his business partners that clearly and explicitly implicates Hunter, several other associates of Joe Biden, and Joe Biden himself in money laundering, racketeering, foreign influence peddling, and active involvement with explicitly China and Ukraine in illegal activity, not just leading up to the election in 2020, but spanning all the way back through Joe's term as the vice president under Barack Obama, and through even before that Joe's history of basically being a corrupt politician for the last half a damn century. Whereas with the existence of the Trump laptop, we also have the functional record of the history of Donald Trump as a victim of a weaponized government, where we've seen multiple times Democrat actors, elected officials, committing crimes in the pursuit of falsifying accusations of crimes against Donald Trump. Right? Like when we saw Adam Schiff read a fake transcript into the record in Congress. That was a crime. He provided a false testimony against a sitting president while in the Congress. He falsified in front of God and everybody an official public record. That would be the record of the conversation in the actual transcript of the hearings in the Congress when he read that fake transcript. And that's without even getting into all the FISA stuff. So what we know about the Trump laptop is that it is the product. It is that there's no reason to believe, based on the track record of the actors involved, that the Trump laptop is not the product of the same people that gave us the Schiff transcript, the Steele dossier, the FISA warrants, the Russia hoax, et cetera, et cetera. They're just Jesse Smollett, with elected offices.
Well, there's a point you have to that, is that Congress has that unique immunity. Whatever they say in Congress, they can't be prosecuted for. Perhaps this new Congress could repeal that, or create a caveat that if they say something that falls under defamation, libel, or slander, then they can be held to account for that.
See, I would love to see that. There's only a few things I can think of that I would like to prioritize above that, and that's, of course, abolishing the FBI, the ATF, the Fed, and I want to see and the IRS. And I want to see a one law, one page, one bill law. If you want to have the Congress vote on a bill to become a law, it must have one action item, and it must fit on one page, one printed page. If anything beyond that is pork, is unnecessary. Anything beyond that is you're trying to cram something extra in there. If you want to say murder is illegal, it's a sentence. It goes on a piece of paper. You read it in front of people. They vote on it. Done. You want to argue what murder is? Well, that's separate from what the law itself is, right? And that should be the way that all law is constructed.
The thing is, Chris, if we made the law simple, then all the attorneys in Congress would be out of work.
Oh, God. Bestill my heart. All right. Well, we are 5 minutes over, so I'm going to have to let you go and wrap up the show, brother. Thanks for calling in, and we'll talk to you soon.
Definitely. Have a great one.
Yes, sir. Take care.
All right.
How do I hang this thing up? There it is. All right. So, that's 25th Amendment. Is that the Depends Amendment? Yes, Rod. That's the one. Okay. So I think I've wandered away from the UFO topic sufficiently and kind of teased that conversation that I want to have later in this week about the stuff that's going on in the Twitter hearings. So I want to say thank you for watching this morning. Love you guys, and we will see you tomorrow.